What the mainstream media was afraid to tell you about the news this week. This week, while the mainstream media was obsessing about Herman Cain not wearing a face mask at President Trump's Tulsa rally, here are the things that happened that really matter. ESPN released a new report detailing the conditions of a player development academy in China that should be described as a youth basketball sweatshop. According to reports, the NBA's goal is to find the next Yao Ming, and the majority of the candidates at their camp in China are Uyghur Muslims. But the camp itself is run at a facility operated by the Chinese Communist Party, and according to the report, coaches physically beat the players. The hypocrisy of the NBA pretending to be woke here in the United States while allowing this abuse to happen in China isn't lost on NBA employees who say, according to the report, you can't have it both ways. You can't be over here in February promoting Black History Month and be over in China where they're in re-education camps and all the people that you're partnering with are hitting kids, end quote. But did the mainstream media report on China's human rights abuses that involve the NBA? No, the mainstream media basically ignored it. According to a new CBS survey, 70% of Americans would wait to see what happens when others get the COVID-19 vaccine or would never get one. The survey shows fewer than 1 in 3 would get the vaccine right away. And by the way, we don't know how effective the vaccine will even be. The H1N1 vaccine didn't work. It was downright dangerous. And even the flu vaccine only prevented 10% of flu deaths in the past 3 years in the United States, according to the CDC. But did the mainstream media report on this survey as the politicians in our country force us to remain locked down until a vaccine is developed? Nope, aside from CBS, of course, who published the survey. Speaking of government-mandated lockdowns, a new report from the United Nations warns that due to COVID-19 and the government-mandated lockdowns, 10,000 more children every month around the world will die due to starvation caused by economic downturn. This study was first reported by the Associated Press and will be published soon in the Lancet Medical Journal. 10,000 more kids around the world will die every month because of the lockdowns. As politicians here in the U.S. pretend to care about kids' safety by keeping schools shut down in defiance of the science, they ignore the fact that literally tens of thousands of kids are dying because of the government-imposed lockdowns. But did the mainstream media report this to you? Nope, they barely said a word. Democratic Congressman Jerry Nadler claims the violence in Portland is a myth. Those are his words. Nadler was asked to condemn the violence in Portland, and his response was, "That's a myth." Meanwhile, federal courthouses are being burned down, police officers attacked and hospitalized, businesses are vandalized, looted, and destroyed. But according to Nadler, that reality, which you can see for yourself on video, is a myth. So did the mainstream media correct Nadler and show you that the violent riots in Portland are not a peaceful protest? No. The mainstream media is actually still calling the violence peaceful. The Supreme Court ruled that casinos in Nevada are allowed more freedom than churches in a 5-4 decision in which Chief Justice John Roberts joined the liberal bloc of the court. The case involved the Calvary Chapel Dayton Valley, who sued Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak over his 50-person capacity limit on churches. The church pointed out that this standard for houses of worship was stricter than the half-capacity mandate for casinos and restaurants in the state. A valid point. But Chief Justice John Roberts sided with the court's 4 liberal justices in upholding the restriction. Did the mainstream media report on this horrible violation of citizens' unalienable, constitutionally protected right to free exercise of religion? No. The mainstream media, the media that's supposed to expose government corruption, did not care. The mainstream media doesn't care to report any of that to you, so we will.